Where do we get that confident voice? Where do we get those confident gestures? This is what's called socializations. We notice the principal who acts this way. We like this leader because of this or that trait. So I try to model their behaviors and say this is a shortcut. And if I have to work on my vocabulary, then that's what high status people do. If I have to change my gestures to fit in this society, and then that's what I'm gonna have to do. That doesn't matter, it changes me completely. It just means that this is what is required of me, and this is what I want to achieve at this moment in time. I think of Cary Grant. Here's an individual born in the UK, grew up very poor, and as he said in his biography, I became Cary Grant. I adopted all the behaviors that I saw from high status individuals. Let's think about that, but make your mind. And it is difficult to prescribe this. But one of the easiest things that we can do, if you're a woman, maybe you want to model yourself on the actress, Kate Blanchett, or some other actor, and you say, when they're being interviewed, how do they look? They look so confident. They look interesting. They have such a command presence. We're not born this way. These are things that we have to develop and say, how do I want to be perceived, and what can I do to achieve that? Are there better behaviors that you can do? Here's a simple one. How many of you, somebody says where they go and you go like this? And as it turns out, this is one of the most hated signs around the world. And yet, if we just go like this, he went that way, we're already perceived differently. Little things. I tell a story often of when I first came into law enforcement. They said, well, you got to get out there and make some arrests. And the first time I went out there, and my voice just went really high. Stop, you're under arrest. That sounds horrible. And you have to work at having that command presence where you say, stop right there. Don't move. That's almost theatrical. Yeah, but it's what is needed. So let's do this exercise. I want you to say no. Just go ahead and say it out loud. All right, now let's do it right. Say it as I say it. No. 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 Do you see the difference between the way you said it and this way? Did you notice that your voice kept getting deeper? But did you also notice that the fingers became wider and wider? The more confident you became, the wider your fingers were spreading. There's a difference between saying no, stop, and going no, stop. This potentiates the message. But to get to this, we actually have to practice it. So let's do it again. No. Now go out there and teach your children how to do that. I love sometimes selfies in the mirror. One of my pet peeves is what we hear every day and what's called up talk. Up talk is where someone says something and they end making it sound like a question mark. So it sounds like this. 7 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent. Our fathers brought forth upon this continent a new nation. My company has done research on this, and we've asked CEOs and we asked executives, and some will say, well, I've gotten used to it and so forth. But when we ask them, does it really matter? They all said, yeah, we rather not see it. I get pushbacks from people that say, well, this is just the way I speak, and no doubt, but don't accept the same results.